They really hate each other now, and they cannot hide it anymore.
She was the villain.
How was she dangerous?
Because of the need for her to rehabilitate her image.
And clearly, Prince Harry has completely checked out of this marriage. And Meghan Markle knows it, because the body language in the clip I'm going to show you is just going to blow you away.
I need to make it like a poster. Please don't do any AI enhancement of this. It is not necessary. Remember that AI just makes up stuff about people. This is all what we need. You can see it, that the mask slipped in a way that, all right, that is horrifying. What is this?
Prince Harry and his wife Meghan have been named as Humanitarians of the Year.
What?
The Duke literally giving her evil eyes during her speech. This is unraveling in real time in front of the world.
I talked to a body language expert who works for the government, and he said that that'll be on Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered Friday. And he said that he's never seen Meghan so defeated than in that clip. He said, you watch her melt. You completely see.
Knocking on your father's door and saying, I'm sorry, Dad, I stuffed up.
If only he would do that.
Follows the establishment of the Archibald Foundation in 2020, a non-profit organisation advocating online safety.
Together we can and we will build the movement that all families and all children deserve.
Remember, Harry usually introduces his wife, not last night. And my God, the look she shot him. It's like, you just wait till we're back at home.
Harry cannot fake. He cannot fake love. He can only show his disdain. And it sure as hell reminds me of the latter stage between Prince Charles and the then Prince Charles and the Princess of Wales when they went to that trip in Korea. Oh, my dear Lord. And what came next? Divorce.
The cameras weren't just rolling, they were hunting for a royal miracle. But what they caught wasn't a fairy tale. It was the moment the mask started to slip.
I know my latest money-making scheme is going to be cosplaying the final night that Princess Diana died. It's truly sick.
Instead, they captured something darker, the truth behind the smile. The moment the royal dream cracked right in front of everyone.
He just doesn't seem to give a damn.
When Prince Harry stepped out of that black SUV in New York, his eyes said what his words never could: regret, tension, and a truth he's been trying to hide.
Body language. My God, no amount of PR spin is gonna deal with that.
His jaw was tight, his shoulders stiff, a man seconds away from snapping, trying to hold it together while the cameras waited for him to break.
You completely see that she is shaken by this.
For Meghan, it was all part of the act. The smile came on like a light switch, perfect, fake, and rehearsed down to the last second.
Maybe he is still very upset over her stunt over in Paris. I can't imagine that didn't go unnoticed by him.
But the tension hit fast. You could feel it even through the screen. One glance, one wrong move, and the whole act was seconds from falling apart.
See her face. You get here, mate. But on stage, when they knew everyone was filming on their mobile phones and taking pictures, it got even worse.
Then it happened. A voice from the crowd cut through the noise. Stop using your kids!
And he's being heckled. Stop using our children. This, guys, which is why people yelled, stop using our children.
The words hit like a punch, and in that instant, Meghan's mask finally cracked.
They would tell you it's for protecting children online, but then why is Meghan Markle at a Balenciaga show accused of predatory behavior in the form of children's images?
Harry's head whipped toward the voice, anger flashing for a split second before he turned away. He grabbed Meghan's arm, not with love, but with panic, whispering words no one could hear.
The couple's night had been designed to perfection. Polished outfits, perfect lighting, smooth security coordination. Harry stood near the window, glancing down at the skyline, phone in hand. Everything was in order, until that call came through.
As cameras kept flashing like sparks on a fuse, reporters kept shouting their names, but the fairy tale was already broken. Those weren't love smiles, they were survival smiles, fake and frozen.
He completely checked out, Dan. Even I was shocked to see how much that he just wasn't even play acting.
From that moment, the perfect act was gone and the chaos was real. The prince who once fought the palace to defend her now looked like he was defending himself from her, and from the cameras too. They walked side by side, but every step made their distance feel louder. The world saw glamour, but insiders saw a silent war. And behind every camera flash, one question burned. What really happened between Harry and Meghan that turned love into tension and a fairy tale into a fight?
The simmering tension between the duplicitous Duke and his facelift-enhanced wife. Here's the red carpet arrival.
Hey, Harry, what are you going?
New York City, sirens, cameras, and chaos in the air. It was supposed to be their big comeback, the night Harry and Meghan took back the spotlight.
To acknowledge Meghan Markle's appearance at a Balenciaga fashion show and then not even a week later announce her activism for protecting kids from online danger. We seriously need to hold these entertainment magazines accountable for this level of hypocrisy.
But something felt off from the start. The venue shimmered in gold, meant to scream fresh start, but witnesses felt the tension instantly. Staff whispered that Harry and Meghan were already arguing inside the SUV before they even stepped out. A security guard said Harry's face was cold as stone. Meghan just stared at her reflection, fixing her earrings, never once looking at him.
That was the worst public disaster that they've had since I don't know when.
And when the door finally opened, every camera in New York was waiting. Producers planned the perfect entrance. One smooth walk, one picture-perfect smile. But insiders noticed it right away. Harry didn't play along. He broke formation, and the mood instantly shifted. He walked ahead of Meghan, moving fast, eyes fixed on the floor. Not the crowd, not the cameras, just trying to get through the moment.
And then you see her naked feet crisscrossed in front of her, like the world is at my feet. Ha ha ha, this is so fun. This is where my children's grandmother died. Good times. Let me put this online.
It wasn't the first time the cracks showed. At a private dinner weeks before, Meghan reached for Harry's hand, but he pulled back, whispering something cold under his breath. The tension was impossible to miss.
Meghan pushing Harry like, go on, go ahead. And Harry absolutely giving Meghan a look in front of the whole stage, in front of the whole audience.
One witness said it was the moment the warmth vanished. And now, even royal experts and body language pros agree. Whatever broke between them happened long before that night in New York. What happened at that award gala wasn't just an awkward moment. It was the public glimpse of something already falling apart. And insiders can't agree on what exactly pushed it over the edge.
Especially on the red carpet. He refused to be her tool. He refused to be her clown. He refused to play her game.
Some say fame ruined them, others blame the palace. But one insider close to Harry claims the real breaking point didn't happen in America, it started in Paris.
Especially when he's on the BBC saying that it's not safe enough for my family in the UK, but it's safe enough for Meghan to be alone in Paris, literally engaging with the paparazzi you say killed your mother.
To the public, it looked like victory. Harry and Meghan, glowing and united, walking the red carpet like royalty reborn. For weeks, tabloids called it their big comeback, but behind the smiles, something felt staged. It was supposed to be their comeback moment. Every move planned to perfection. The outfits, the smiles, the timing. Meghan glowed in gold, but the sparkle couldn't hide the tension underneath.
A few PR stunts, a few photo shoots. What about a 24-hour art installation that was there long enough for them to film themselves, for their Archwell to do a slick video, but not long enough for members of the public to actually go view it?
Every move looked rehearsed, every glance aimed at the cameras. Harry, in his tux, followed Meghan's lead toward the crowd, but his smile didn't reach his eyes. It looked like strength, the exiled royals back on top, but the illusion shattered in seconds, and the cracks everyone tried to ignore were suddenly impossible to miss. When the cameras started flashing, the tension was impossible to miss, even through the live stream. Harry's face told a different story than Meghan's smile. He wasn't smiling, he was surviving. As Meghan waved, he let out a quiet breath, the kind that says, everything's not okay. No training could hide that moment.
Have you ever seen that video? No. Pull that video up.
Harry's speech was so lackluster, Tash. As you say, I think he's furious about what went on in Paris, but they couldn't cancel this event. What?
Then, through all the noise, one voice cut like a knife. Stop using your kids. In that instant, the crowd went silent. Every camera, every eye locked on them. Cameras caught it instantly. Meghan's smile froze. Harry's jaw clenched, and his eyes shot toward the heckler before locking on the doors like he just needed to get out.
Absolutely hilarious speech where she's trying to talk about the need to protect children from social media, even though she's pimping out her own children wherever she can.
It wasn't surprise, it was recognition. Like he'd heard those same words before, maybe from himself. He grabbed her arm, not out of love, but out of sheer urgency to move. What looked like a gentle gesture was really a signal, move now.
Meghan smiles through everything. This woman will smile through everything because she cannot let anybody know that she has failed, that Harry no longer loves her, because that affects her ego.
A photographer nearby caught it too. The warmth vanished, replaced by quiet control and tension. From that moment, the night quietly fell apart. They smiled, waved, and posed like nothing happened, but the spark between them was gone, and everyone could feel it. To the crowd, it looked like pure glamour. But to those who saw past the sparkle, it was sadness in disguise, the beginning of a downfall, dressed up as a comeback.
Our children, Archie and Lily, are just 6 and 4 years old. Luckily, still too young for social media, but we know that day is coming.
Now, Meghan, the actress, of course, had to stick to the script. And so we had the hilarious, she's trying to talk about the need to protect children from social media, even though she's pimping out her own children wherever she can, causing these tensions.
On the surface, it looked perfect. But the replays told a different story. Every slow motion frame revealed tension they couldn't hide, no matter how perfect the act seemed.
She was definitely trying very hard.
The distance wasn't about space, it was in the body language. Harry's hand stayed still, twitching every time Meghan tried to reach for him, while she kept smiling for the cameras like nothing was wrong. He blinked hard, like someone holding it together by a thread. Body language experts who studied the clip didn't hold back. They saw a real strain, not stage nerves.
And then she realizes, oh, there are cameras. Look at me, I have to relax my face.
One expert called Harry's behavior defensive withdrawal, the body of a man closing himself off, trying to hide what he really feels under the spotlight. Another expert noticed Meghan's laugh came seconds late like a delayed performance. Everything looked rehearsed, not real.
A publicist has done their job, and what they're doing is they're finding these charities that are willing to make Harry and Meghan look good.
And it wasn't the first time. Just weeks earlier at Kevin Costner's charity event, Harry's frustration was clear, even when he thought no one was watching. When Meghan tried to take control of the talk, his jaw tightened and his eyes went blank. That same look showed up again in New York, colder, sharper, and harder to hide.
New York Times are finally realizing, actually, his wife might be a disaster tourist, but he is a disaster when it comes to charity, especially African charity, because he doesn't actually give a damn. For years and years and years, he used Africa because it was good for his PR.
Behind the scenes, the whispers got louder. A stylist who dressed Meghan that night said the fitting ended early, after a heated argument about her outfit. A publicist said they heard Meghan's voice echoing down the hallway, sharp, tense, followed by a door slamming that made everyone go silent.
Meghan Markle is black again today. She went from being white in Paris to being black in New York City, because she has to absolutely culturally appropriate the black community.
Harry didn't shout, he just went quiet. A silence insiders say has become his new escape. When the red carpet clips hit social media, fans spotted the tension instantly. Side-by-side photos told the truth. Harry leaning back, face blank, while Meghan leaned in, pretending closeness.
10,000 yards stare. The guy is absolutely lost.
The media called it romantic, but fans saw it for what it was, damage control. By the end of the night, even the staff stopped calling it chemistry. One producer said, it felt like watching two actors stuck in a scene they no longer believed in. No one knew what turned their love into a performance.
If I know that this is a place that my husband hates because it's where he lost his mom, I'm not going to go there.
To understand what really broke them, you have to go back, not to New York or California, but to Paris. Because before the silence in New York, the cracks had already started there. And that's where the cracks began.
Here she is, swanning around like she's Queen Cersei in Game of Thrones. And
Paris was supposed to be Meghan's big comeback. Front row seats, designer gowns, and cameras waiting to crown her return. But behind those perfect photos, witnesses saw the truth, a couple sharing the same spotlight but walking like strangers. Harry stayed distant, eyes locked forward, while Meghan worked the room with her practiced smile. To the crowd, it looked glamorous, but up close, it felt icy. Then then came the moment that shocked everyone. Meghan's team filmed her walking through the Pont de l'Alma tunnel, the same place where Princess Diana's life ended.
This is one of the most sophisticated media manipulators in the world. She exited the hotel, having studied the way that Princess Diana exited the hotel in the CCTV footage on the night of her death. And she then put her feet up as she was driving through the streets just like Diana was before her death.
Meghan gave a faint smile to the camera, pulling her scarf close, a calm, calculated look that felt more symbolic than sincere. When the clip hit the internet, the backlash was instant. But behind closed doors, it triggered something even deeper, a storm no one could see.
Harry usually introduces his wife, not last night. And my God, the look she shot him. It's like, you just wait till we're back at home.
Sources close to them say Harry was furious, not loud, not fake, but the kind of anger that burns deep. That tunnel wasn't just a backdrop to him, it was a wound reopened. To Harry, that place was sacred. To Meghan, it was just symbolism, a statement. Insiders say that clash turned explosive. Their argument that night was raw, sharp, and left scars no camera could see. He demanded to know how she could turn his mother's tragedy into a photo op. Meghan called it art, harmless symbolism. But something in him snapped. After years of defending her, he finally felt betrayed.
Meghan making the googly eyes like you're seeing right now. Oh, it's like, and Harry doesn't even look at her.
After that night, he couldn't defend her anymore. The silence between them grew heavy. Harry stopped explaining. Meghan stopped pretending their smiles became rehearsed. Their love, just performance. Every appearance was scripted. Every move meant to keep the illusion alive. By the time New York came around, the act was all they had left. The laughter sounded fake. The eye contact felt staged. The man beside her wasn't angry anymore. He was just empty, like the spark had finally died. And that's the part no one saw coming. Not anger, not drama, but emptiness. Because when love turns into survival, it doesn't break loud. It just fades away, piece by piece.
I have to just say, anyone who has doubted me over the past decade about this evil woman now needs to eat some humble pie, because this video designed to mentally torture her husband.
What started in Paris didn't end in New York. It just finally showed. Every story has a rhythm, and theirs now beats unevenly, like a heartbeat that keeps missing a step. Uneven, fragile, and hard to miss. You can feel it in the pauses between their smiles.
He presses his lips and doesn't look at her. I mean, he doesn't smile.
In the clipped words off camera, in that silence that hangs just a little too long to ignore. This isn't a fairy tale in bright colors. It's one written in shadows. Cold silver flashes, a red carpet that feels colder than it looks, and the quiet sound of fabric moving past open mics. The crowd buzzes, waiting for something to crack.
The claw only gets her so far. But other than that, this is a countdown.
Every word they say in public sounds smooth and rehearsed, but it's the silence between them that screams the truth. Their story feels part performance, part confession. Dramatic, controlled, and staged to perfection. But underneath it all, there's a strange quiet that pulls you in, like you're about to hear something they don't want to admit. Because what's falling apart between them isn't loud, it's quiet, the kind of slow unraveling that happens behind smiles and under whispered breaths.
Doesn't work for you to shoulders back, breasts out, headlights going, and try to look as bitchy as possible.
Behind closed doors, it's two people trapped in a script they wrote too well to escape. Every move feels planned, every glance rehearsed, but the meaning is gone. 3 beats of tension, one of calm, every word cut short, like they're both scared to finish the sentence. Harry's voice low, tight, almost trembling. Meghan's voice stays calm, but the strain leaks through. Together, they sound like actors in a movie that's already ending. And that's the real twist. Their downfall isn't chaos, it's control. A perfect image built on forced emotions, slowly falling out of sync.
Harry doesn't have a pleasing face. He is not pleased. That is not Harry. You know that is not Harry's smile. I haven't seen Harry truly smiling since at least 2019.
And the more you watch their story unfold, the clearer it becomes. Perfection always cracks first. Every pause, every glance, every polished word hides a truth darker than any lie. And somewhere between the act and the confession, their silence says it all.
It's of her mocking Harry.
Maybe those smiles were real once, but not anymore. Maybe the laughter we saw back then was real, not staged, not forced. But somewhere Somewhere between the fame and the silence, something inside them quietly changed. The glances got shorter, the touch colder, and what started as a fight against the crown has slowly become a fight between them.
I just spoke to somebody that said their palace sources say perhaps the king would plan to meet with Prince Harry at the beginning of 2026. Meghan Markle has no desire to return to the UK because she knows how simply loathed she is there.
Every story ends somehow, some with chaos, others with silence. For Harry and Meghan, it won't be a headline or a breakup post. It'll end quietly, long before anyone notices. It'll be the quiet kind of ending, the kind that fades slowly until one day they just stop showing up together. No drama, no announcement. The cameras will simply move on. The headlines will fade, but one question will stay. Was their love ever strong enough to survive the fame it built?
If there was any doubt in Harry's mind about how he felt about the skank, doubts are cleared.
Because when love turns into performance and loyalty into strategy, the fairy tale doesn't break. It quietly disappears. It fades, frame by frame, smile by smile. And in that quiet space between the flashes and reality, the truth sits waiting, unseen, unspoken, impossible to forget.
See the hand. The hand that rocks the cradle. Like telling Harry, hey, it's my turn, let's move over. I need to hug this man. Who is him? I don't know.
What happened in New York wasn't just an event, it was a mirror. A repeat of Meghan's old story. Love turning into strategy, warmth fading into control. The pattern feels all too familiar. The charm, the show, and then the quiet unraveling, the same cycle that always starts the moment the cameras stop rolling.
She's sort of very needy, isn't she? She loves to be loved. And she hates the British people, that she'll never come back to this country because she knows people don't really want her back in this country.
And if you think Harry was the first to feel that break, think again. Because before the prince, there was someone else. A man who saw the cracks long before the crown ever did. Joe Giuliano, Meghan's first husband. The man who promised her forever, then walked away before fame ever found her. And now, after years of silence, he's finally speaking out. And what he revealed about why his family turned against her is darker than any royal scandal. A glimpse into the part of her story the palace never had to face. His words don't just explain the tension we saw on that red carpet. They reveal a pattern that's been repeating in her life for years, one heartbreak after another. If you want to understand why Harry's silence feels so final, listen to the man who lived her story first. Watch our previous investigation on Meghan's first husband, the beginning of the pattern. Joe Giuliano reveals why his family turned away from Meghan. And it's not gossip, it's truth. What he said changes everything you thought you knew about how this so-called fairy tale really began. You're watching Hollywood Confidential, where the secrets last longer, and the shadows they leave outshine the fame itself.